Graviton Surge did a tremendous job. Had you seen them at that level before? Are you, what are your thoughts there? Are you concerned about how good they were?
Like, I think we never play them, so I don't know technically how they play for the team play, but individual skill of these players are amazing, and they have experience online, like Sun and Zebozai and Crew are super good actually. They're carrying the team so much.
Okay.
And Skipjack have a lot of experience also.
Zebasai's good unless he's against a Mercy 1v1, and then he has a little bit of a problem. So wait, no, you said that, or you were saying that you didn't expect these two teams to be one of these two teams to be facing you in the finals? Or you didn't expect them to be against each other in the loser bracket finals?
No, we had someone say that they were expecting to play Melty again in the final.
Exactly, yeah.
Really?
Is what? Yeah, in the winner interview with Creation, that's what they said.
That's interesting. Because Melty is just, I mean, no
They
offense to
jinxed it.
Melty, they've just not really been the team that dominated the first phase of beta. They've been kind of on a downward spiral a little bit. They've been kind of starting to rise as every other team has been getting better and better, but I didn't really expect them to have a chance over Rogue.
They're getting better and better. Since few days, like in the last past months, they have really good result on Scream, and they didn't manage to put, like I think they didn't play at their best against Graviton Surge on the last match. They could do better, and maybe they try some new things, like new stuff on King of the Hill. We see one Lucio only. I'm not agree with that. Maybe it was a wrong.
There's a chance to have a King of the Hill map on the draft. Lijiang Tower, the only map that isn't a payload.
I bet you that would be beated out.
I know. I was sort of looking at it, going, who's going to do that?
no.
Who's going to? Okay, so Dorado, Watchpoint Gibraltar, Kings Row, Route 66, and Lijiang Tower being left in there. Awesome. And I believe that means we're going to have Rogue go ahead and pick the first map. So I'm going to hop back into the game and double check that as well. What do you think about these two teams specifically on King of the Hill maps? Do you think either team has an advantage?
Maybe Tevik, like a Rogue team, will have an advantage with the double Tracer, double Monkey. I'm not sure they're prepared to counter that. If they're doing it, it's going to be super hard for Graviton to counter. Actually, they're playing with Macri all the time and Zarya and Monkey, like super classic, like we play with Creation.
Sure.
You have to keep in mind these two teams did already play actually against each other in this tournament in the winner bracket semifinals, I think it was. Where Graviton Surge, actually, no, it was the initial game, sorry. It was the initial first round where Graviton Surge got absolutely stomped because Zebasai just flew in that day and he had 0 sleep and was pretty much falling asleep in his own chair. And they ran double Tracer against him because they were like, yeah, well, we can get away with it. We're nowhere better in general as aiming. We know we're better than them at the moment because of they're feeling a little bit kind of broken apart with Zebasai coming here a little bit late. I don't know if maybe they'll see the double Tracer, but in general on a King of the Hill map, Rogue are just full aim stars. I mean, they're a team of aim stars who can come together and play well together.
Well, we're going to be going into Watchpoint Gibraltar first, and it looks like, just double-checking as we swap the last couple of players around, we're going to be having Rogue attacking first on Watchpoint Gibraltar. So, super standard, like, go-to payload.
Surge attacking.
Are we? Hang on a
Yeah.
second. Oh, yes, there we go. Cool.
So...
They just swap to Veek and Skipjack.
Yeah. So Rogue, I mean, Nox, you can probably, test this a little bit. They do a really good defense in hangar normally, playing on the really high ground on top of the shuttle. With Tavik playing Soldier, and they kind of just sit back and damage boost them. But, I mean, you guys played against them, so you know exactly how that kind of works.
We know exactly what they're doing. Like, we're checking, and we plan to counter this. Like, with Enzo, watching, like, for Wallach, so we know if they are at the bottom of the right. And then with a top Bastion. Was a Bastion on the top, and sending just 3 or 4 people on the payload to just distract taking the fight, and the Bastion clean them all. I think that was perfect. Like, I think we lost 5 seconds on that payload. We killed all of them and then pushed the payload. It was okay, and we built loyalty, wasn't it? They didn't block us, and we built loyalty. We have to all switch the class, so we have advantage on this.
And are you expecting them to do almost the same thing here? Are we going to be seeing like some pretty standard compositions, rushing in and just trying to take it conventionally? Or do you think someone's going to be blinking and going for something funky in the hangar? Because we've had a lot of action today with many different strategies when it came to the hangar and the shuttle.
They're predictable. They don't gonna do the same. They're predictable. I don't see them doing same strategy. They can be punished in terms of ulti build. So I'm not sure they're gonna do the same thing on the top. They're gonna just play classic.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Cool. Well, the players are going to be finalizing their options now. And we are going to be rushing out to defend on the part of Rogue to start things off. So we have 2 Winstons to contest the very first point here. Tavik is on Soldier 76. And then we have McCree, Mercy, and Lucio to finish things off. No surprise there from IDDQD, Wins, or Unco.
Actually, I feel like there's only a slight surprise that AKM's not playing Widow. We've seen him playing Widow quite a bit on this first initial point. Well, obviously they let him take the point, but he plays really defensive with the Widowmaker. But the double monkey, it leads me to believe that they're reading into Crew going Genji, and are trying to actually work around that. Have some great sustain with Tavik and Lucio, together with the AoE healing, and IDDQD just to clean up anyone coming in close. But Crew, he's going to be looking to go a Bastion here. I'm not sure if he's going to stick to it, but running a Hanzo and double Genji, it looks like they will be doing that.
Do you think this might be for an ambush, actually, just using the double Winston bubble and surprising them as they come out here?
For sure. We're gonna do the same thing that they do against us, but Nevix is countering with the Bastion, exactly like we do. Zebo gonna check them at the bottom
Double
or at the top.
Genji and Bastion, yeah. All right.
They're gonna be get counter.
Well, here we go. Nevix already in that mode. We're going to try and see what's going on. Genji immediately spotting what's going on now, and soon immediately moving out. And he knows exactly what's happening. IDDQD trying to get some shots up, but we need to be very careful not to overextend into Bastion there.
The thing is, they killed Nevix. They actually killed the Bastion, so this attack's going to be successful. They're not really going to lose much off of this, and probably eventually they're going to just back away, maybe look to do it a second time. I think Too Good was talking about this before on the couch, that you can afford to go for an early attack here because you're generally going to give up that first payload checkpoint anyways, and you'll have time to respawn back in and play defensive towards the second.
And immediately switching off the Bastion. We have double Winston on attack now as well from Graviton Surge as they try and push Rogue off of the high ground there soon. In the front lines with Genji trying to do his best to fight for specifically the support players, looking for Mercy, trying to get them out. Haven't been able to get the kills just yet. Crew getting a massive hit on Unco right now as well. And he's got his ultimate available should he choose to use it.
AKM just looking to escape. He's even being chased down by his monkey brother. But they will at least pick up quite a few kills, but not to mention they picked up, knocks a minute and 10 at a time. If you're Graviton Surge, what do you really need to do here?
This is a super good time. Like they delay a lot the first points, so technically they're really in trouble. And the mistake there, it was staying on your Genji. Like the 2 Genji have not enough damage against the 2 monkeys, so they can deal with that. They have to switch 2 Genji to something else. They don't have enough damage there.
Oh, wow, and ultimate's going off everywhere. Tavik as well with his, but he gets completely and utterly shut down there by Soon. Not doing a terrific amount of damage. Nevix now still in the middle of things. In fact, a lot of Winstons actually hanging about, and that was a little bit scrappy towards the end, but Graviton Surge are able to push towards the second checkpoint, and it looks like, actually, Rogue are just nowhere near in place to contest this right now.
They're not running the Widowmaker either, so looking to actually probably jump on top of the point. Once they have good together, Tavik would be taken extremely low by Zebasai. He's playing on this high ground here and catching shots left and right. Reinforce will fall. Checkpoint will be taken momentarily, I would assume, because Unco doesn't really have a revive available to do much with.
Tavik and AKM both getting taken out by Zebasai there, so really making Widowmaker work for him as they attempt to move into the hangar area. It's basically a full wipe. It's only IDDQD waiting to move on, and all of a sudden, we're in a situation where Graviton Surge might not have to worry too much about what happened in the first half of the hangar. They're going to be so far ahead by this.
Yeah, they snowball totally, and because they lost the position on the first point, they get punished directly. So they lost the first point, they lost the second position point on the top, and now they're really in trouble now to come back on the game.
Skipjack moving forward, just trying his best to engage enemies long before they actually get to the payload, so they continue getting pushed in the meantime. Double Winston on top of the shuttle, using that spatial advantage to their maximum benefit, and there is the Lucio wall coming out now for Graviton Surge. Zebasai falls, Soon is still trying to do an awful lot of damage. He gets absolutely impaled by Reinforce. AKM trying to hold this down, but he is alone right now. Not an awful lot they can do. And another team wipe going in favor of Graviton Surge. There's no way they can hold the door here.
What I liked actually what Graviton Surge did was they got the high ground, right? They saw exactly where Rogue were coming from, forced them to group up together. They backed away.
Yeah,
they
sure.
thought it was safe. Yeah, you go on top of the shuttle. Now then they jumped on top, caught them off guard, picked them off one by one. And are looking to take this next point. Nevik zoning out Unco the best he can. If Unco goes down, he won't have a chance for a revive.
And Tavik with, oh wow, managing to get the double kill, even though the second one wasn't actually on his ultimate. Picking up 3 there, very, very good. Nevix getting a consolation prize, and then going for the Primal Rage, but even he's getting low and has to move back. So Tavik right now getting all of the work done on Soldier 76. AKM coming in to swoop in at the last second to pick up Zebasai as well. Very, very nicely played there from Rogue, and this is a bit of a catalyst that realistically they needed here.
Yeah, they needed it. Like if he lost this position, it was almost lost the map. This is the best position to hold this map. On the second point, this is more easy. And if they lost the second point so faster, they're gonna lose the map.
Well, if they
Almost
actually got out of the hangar straight away, yeah, completely.
Well, they're doing double Genji, double Winston on top of the Shadow. Zebasai is looking to get a lot of free reign from the back. He's actually been forced away from this one. AKM eventually going to go down to that sniper and Crew. Again, just playing the Genji, trying to go ham, trying to play up close and personal. But the thing is, it's going to be so hard for him to pick anyone off unless he has that Dragon Blade up.
Oh dear, and soon getting caught between a rock and a hard place there, not quite able to wall climb away from Soldier 76. TakeOver still doing work. There's the massive res coming out from Unko, trying his best to get it done, but ultimately they are still, well, it's 6v4 at the moment, and Kratos actually on Lucio means that Graviton Surge don't have an awful lot of support here, so that's going to be a bit tricky for them to deal with.
It's gonna be super hard for them to take back. Like to take these points. Anyway, TakeOver is still alive, we're gonna lose this. They have to deny TakeOver fair. This is the key to win that point.
Is Graviton Surge cursing themselves for not pushing it even further and getting all the way to the final checkpoint? Did they have a chance there, or was Rogue always going to be able to retake the shuttle?
On this situation, the only chance is to snowball with ulti. Like they need 2 Genji ulti with Lucio ulti there, and getting the Mercy and TakeOver on Soldier.
Well, they distracted him with Crew coming in towards the actual payload, trying to actually force them to contest him. Crew's gonna eventually pick up 1 kill on TakeOver with the Dragon Blade, but not much more than that, so eventually secure a 2nd kill with the help as soon. That's just all in AKM. Unko, he's got res available in just a few seconds, but unfortunately for them, he's down, and they're not gonna be able to defend this point. This is gonna be a Rogue, unfortunately now being forced onto the last and final point.
98% charge on Mercy's revive, unfortunately, when Unko actually went down there, so that's going to be really awkward. He gets picked off again from Skipjack as we now want to try and spawn camp. Graviton Surge really pushing forward, wanting to end the map very, very quickly indeed. Zebasai providing cover from behind. He's going to have to move in there and try and get himself around the dogleg, but it looks like they're actually falling back a little bit, allowing Rogue here to regroup.
So now Zebasai is trying to look for something, as I'm not sure exactly why AKM pushed in pretty much by himself. The rest of the team's been able to be speed boosted in, Reinforced poising for a position. And again, the Dragon Blade's coming out. Reinforced looking for the charge. He won't unfortunately connect to anyone, but TakeOver gets the first kill. I just switch over to McCree. Crew looking for that Lucio. He just can't seem to connect the shots, and Reinforced just blindly kills him with the hammer.
Wow, managing to get the revive up just before going down there. Oh no, and IDDQD in a bit of trouble. Just about gets saved there from TakeOver. And now we have the team moving back on out, trying to reclaim the space below the payload. Will successfully push Graviton Surge back for now. There are 5 of them alive right now. Where is Skipjack in relation to all of this? It looks like he's... Okay, they're waiting to regroup just below the hangar door.
Was a big play for Rogue. Like, it was 2 Genji in ulti, and they managed to counter that 2 Genji without choosing 1 ulti. So this is a big win for Rogue there. And they have advantage of ulti now, they have 4. So technically they can hold the point 2 times for 2 attacks.
Oh, that was brilliant TakeOver too, because he tried to go for the flashbang onto the right heart, so Skipjack could keep the shield up, and Reinforce could have Earth Shatter, but this is Rogue just stomping all over them, not losing a single man. Crew, the last man remaining, he's going to get chased down, and that will be the full team wipe. Rogue going to be putting up a strong defense here.
Yeah, that was very, very nice, and some of the play that we were maybe missing from Rogue in the first half of the map. We sort of saw the first couple of checkpoints and thought, hang on a second, Graviton Surge are coming out really strong. They have the potential to stomp a lot of stuff here, and now Rogue looks like they've woken up, they're getting back into their element.
Yeah, like technically they have to switch to something like, this is a good switch, like Crew switch to Zarya, so they can counter that lineup right now. It's gonna be different way. Different fight there.
AKM coming in with Primal Surge, trying to get everyone down. Crew on Zarya here, attempting to add something extra. That was soon, very, very quick on that high noon as well, not quite able to pull it off. And more flashbangs moving back into it from Zebasai. He's going to unleash a high noon of his own. Deadeye potentially getting one, looking for Lucio, gets Lucio and wins, maybe waiting not quite long enough to get on top of the payload. That's basically going to result in a massive victory there for Graviton Surge.
Reinforce, try to go for the big play too. He tried to knock down about, 2 or 3 people, pick up the kills, but the Mercy plays out of Nevik is able to keep everyone alive there. He wasn't able to focus anyone down, and now Zebasai's in a great position, Soon's in a great position to actually make something happen off of this, trying to actually block down the control. The Graviton Surge is going to be coming through to actually lock the entire team up. Unko doesn't have ultimate available at all either, so this is a full team wipe coming through, and this should ideally be the end of the game.
Yeah, that is going to be it. There's no way they can even come back in time, even with those stall heroes. Excellent Graviton Surge, and I mean, that's got to be play of the game from Crew, right? We saw the sniper pick off like 3 or 4 off the back of that, but it was the Graviton Surge. It set all of that up. Crew there, He lifts, he scores, ladies and gentlemen, off to the right-hand side. That was really nice, coming straight out of the spawn point. And right off Lucio's ult as well, so that sound barrier gets entirely wasted. Very, very nicely played.
Yeah, big follow on the damage on this ulti. You see they're all taking damage super quick. So, very well performed.
Now, that said, there was a lot of back and forth in the hangar still. We almost got to position where Graviton Surge were able to really push through and really snowball. Rogue just about found themselves in time, didn't they? Because at the end of the day, 8 minutes, 36 seconds, we've seen a lot slower times from Watchpoint Gibraltar in this tournament so far because people are getting much better at holding in the hangar. It's also not the fastest time, though. It's definitely beatable.
It's beatable. It's okay time, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's a good time considering, you know, if they did successfully get that hangar phase and Rogue didn't hold because it looked so bad for them at one point, that could have been like a 5-4 minute game, and that would have been almost unbeatable for Rogue.
Yeah.
But they somehow just kind of grouped up together and held it, and now it gives them a potential chance to take this game.
Well, let's go back to that very, very point where it looked like it was snowballing for Graviton Surge, right? And then Rogue somehow, at the last second, regrouped one time and managed to push Graviton Surge back. What happened there for Rogue?
It's simple. Like on this map, they take 2 Monkey and there was 2 Winston and 2 Genji. So you take in that lineup to counter the second part, the high ground. And then on the last part, you need to switch to another lineup, completely different, like with Reinhardt, with Macri, extra. And they didn't switch because they had their Genji ulti. So they want to snowball the game with the Genji ulti, but that didn't work at all. And they get rebooted, they had to switch directly. And I think the mistake there, it was stay on their composition with the ulti and not switching to something more stable. And so, yeah.
Well, this seems to be like one of the few teams that actually favors a double Genji if they can't use it. I'm trying to think of any other teams out there that we've seen so far this entire tournament that's run like double Genji as consistent as Graviton Surge. I can't really think of one.
No, we've seen a couple of maps where, like, on certain points you have the double Genji, but you're right, Graviton Surge seems to be going towards that, like, on almost as a go-to.
Well, they had it from the start, and then... Oh, no, they didn't have it from the start because they had the Bastion, but, like, after the initial attack, they did switch to double Genji, and they kept that, like you said, Nox, throughout the entire hangar phase until they realized they needed to switch.
Well, we've got double Widowmaker now.
Yeah.
So we're going to be checking this out from Graviton Surge as they go ahead and defend. Look at this. They're actually staying really, really quite far back, to be perfectly honest. AKM coming down here and going, hang on a second, where's the ambush? Doesn't look like there is one. Moving up to the top and going, oh, there's no one really contesting here as well. So the McCrees kind of having free reign, and now they see where they're moving back. So Graviton Surge giving Rogue a lot of space here in the first couple of points.
I like those shields actually out of both Winstons because it actually makes it so you can hide as a Widowmaker and still shoot through it and not be hit by the opposing AKM. So really well timed, really well placed as well. And when you're running the double snipe, you need to be able to get some picks from long range before they do go for some sort of engage.
Yeah, this is a C9 tactic there we see. Like the monkey distracting a lot, the jumping distracting, and the 2 sniper behind can destroy all the rest of the team. They completely distract by the 2 Winston.
They scared Rogue back, Nox.
Wow. Yeah, just very, very patiently waiting here. I think this is like... I remember this being called almost caught in the crossfire because you have the Soldier 76 and there's just so much hit scan damage coming in from the back that it makes it very difficult for teams to enter this area without taking a ridiculous amount of damage just at the very beginning of the engagement. And Skipjack is constantly moving in and trying to annoy them from behind as well with Winston. He actually gets 2 kills there. That was really good in forcing the revive out of Unko. Rogue are going to try and push their point here. Reinforce gets a successful push, but now he's caught out from the rest of the team and he's a little bit offside.
Does kill Crew at least, so it does give him some sort of advantage as they try to push in. Tavik is still alive as well with the Deadeye available, and I don't think Kratos even has ultimate up, so it's pretty much on soon from that high ground trying to do something, trying to delay. Actually, he's even towards the back of them, trying to pick up some kills, and Zeb was on the high ground.
Reinforced not sure which way to look, unfortunately. He had his shield up, but it was very difficult to defend from 2 directions at once. And that's a problem when you have multiple snipers in as well. You need to make sure that you know exactly where they are at all times. And Soon right now, continuously getting back into position, somewhere different from Zebasai, so they can make sure they have a good crossfire going.
I'm not sure about you, Nox, but we're seeing Rogue have a little bit of a hard time adapting to what's being thrown at them. I mean, this is, like I said, the Cloud9 strat. They probably played against it many times, but what do you think's going through their minds? Because they're not really kind of trying to adjust to this situation.
I think they're not prepared for that. Like, we didn't expect them to doing this. So, yeah, they're switching to another lineup, more classic. This series gonna work. They need to take aggro, deny the sniper really quick.
Skipjack taking out Tavik there, following him back. And he's looking to get back into the thick of the action. Rogue again trying his best to come on in, reinforce, absolutely swinging away at the hammer. He gets taken out by Skipjack as well. Absolutely everyone right now. Is there anyone still back there? There is. IDDQD, Unko is behind him too. So they're going to try and make that last couple of yards. Only Skipjack is down at the moment, but Nevix and Soon join him very, very quickly indeed. Zebasai's actually switched on to Tracer, and he's trying to zip around, but he's not having an awful lot of good time there with the Tesla cannon, unfortunately. And that leaves Crew, and he's unfortunately having to go into full retreat. So we're going straight into the hangar phase.
So that Tracer pick, Nox, is that just a delay on the point as long as they can, or is that actually a legitimate pick that you think they want to continue to go with?
No, it's just to delay. Like it was unlucky. Kratos ulti revive everyone at the same time as they captate. So it was like 1 second before he could revive everyone on the point. Was kind of lucky for him.
Tavik, IDDQD, AKM, and Wins, all with ultimates available going into the hangar, and they've got Revive. They've just had that up as well. So this could end up being a very, very good setup, potentially to snowball here for Rogue. And if they're able to snowball through the hangar, they should be able to go and beat this time. Don't forget, it's 8 minutes and 36 seconds to beat. There's a sound barrier coming out to initiate. We still have 2 lots of Deadeye available and a Revive.
IDQD though, he's not actually getting much action so far.
Not really. Oh, there you go. Guess one.
Eventually gonna fall to Soon towards the high ground, force the revive at Unco just to keep his teammates alive, but this payload just not being hindered. This hangar phase has been successful. Now Skipjack is a little bit out of place as the rest of the team has fallen one by one. He's gonna be chased down and spawn, and eventually he should be picked off. And now Rogue, the question comes down to this: do they want to continue this aggression? Do they want to continue to lock them in spawn, or do they just want to pick them off one by one and then keep this payload moving?
This is bad news, because at the last second, Rogue were actually able to stop the rot, if you will, and they were actually able to, keep the hangar phase going for 4 or 5 minutes. And Graviton Surge haven't been able to do that. Rogue are already this far into the map, and it's 4 minutes and 30 seconds in. This is going to be very difficult for them to hold on the last point for 4 full minutes.
Zebasai's being forced back. IDQ is actually above them. They get to pick up 1 kill with this High Noon, and actually it's a huge kill with Kratos going down. No potential for the revive because he has it available. High Noon's becoming defensively, and Zebasai is only going to get 1. This payload's going to continue to move. The revive will finally come through, but who does it get? It's just Skipjack. I think it's just Nevix as well, which is really bad in this position. They need to get someone out of here as soon as they can. They need to get on top of this payload because they have 4 minutes to practically hold on for it.
Yeah, and it's we don't want to get to a point where it's full delay with 4 minutes to go. That's not going to work at all. Absolute melee, and they're just keeping the entire team back with shields from Reinhardt, moving in from Skipjack, but he actually goes a little bit too far, and it's only IDDQD now. Oh man, this is so difficult, but we have 4 people dead on the part of Rogue, so they might actually have to make one last push. I mean, that's something, I guess, but it's 5 minutes and 16 seconds into this game, guys. It's going to be pretty tricky to hold it for, a lot longer. You just need 1 successful push of how many meters? It's like 0.0. That's basically negligible.
They've got ult advantage as well out of Mercy, Nox. So if you're, I guess, Graviton Surge, what are you looking for to hold on? You do have a Graviton Surge out of Crew to delay, and he has 100 energy, so if they can calm this together, it could be relatively good, but they need to catch out Unco to make this successful.
Oh, and everyone caught in Graviton Surge, trying to get out of it with Deadeye. And Tavik gets completely and utterly wiped before it can go off. The rest of the team actually go down as well. That was a brilliant hold from Graviton Surge. And, well, I guess the Zarya definitely vindicated there. Also constantly using that energy with the shields to just keep the team alive longer, because what you don't want is them respawning. Spawn camping on the last point at Gibraltar is so tough, right?
Yeah, but the problem is they're using their ultimate, Graviton Surge, and I think actually they have a plan of time to build their ultimate Rogue. They're just gonna wait to get like 4 or 5 ultimates and then engage against 2 ultimates, and they're gonna win the fight for sure.
There's IDDQD potentially looking for targets with Deadeye. Unfortunately, they've gone around the corner. Oh, able to pick off Soon and Devasai. They might have come around just a little bit too early there. Unco potentially with a res available. He uses it, reinforced right in the thick of the action. Currently 6, but IDDQD first to go down. Unco's also go down as well before Sound Barrier can get activated. So they're fighting 4v5 right now. Excellent stuff from Reinforce. Good positioning on the ultimate. Is it going to be enough for them to get through, though? I'm not sure.
Yeah, this just be him swinging away, swinging to the fences, because this payload's going to finish off.
Wow.
And Rogue, they will pick up this first map in this best of 5.
And like you said, Nox, waiting for the ultimates, going, okay, we just got wiped twice, but they used a lot of ultimates to keep us off.
Yeah.
That's okay. Let's wait for the ultimates.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Do
like
it again.
sometimes it's better to wait, like to save your ultimates to get a fight like 4 ultimates against 4 ultimates, not using all of them during mount fights.
Okay, this was the one during the beginning. The one at the end was actually pretty crucial as well. Brought back 3 people just before they capped the point and managed to wipe.
That game could have been over though, because Unco got caught in the Graviton surge that actually made them get completely wiped. Then again, they also could have been baiting it outright. They knew they had like 3 minutes to work with. Why not bait out the Graviton surge and then go for the attack without that big ultimate available?
It's tricky, man. I mean, at the end of the day, it's also a little bit more difficult to target an individual player that's caught in a Graviton surge. You're kind of chucking your DPS at them, and it's like, you kill one, you kill all kind of thing.
What do you mean? Well, I just meant like if he stayed alive. So if he stayed around a corner because they could have assumed the Graviton surge was coming, then he could have revived, or they were looking to force that ultimate to come out because then it wouldn't be there for the next attack because they knew they had the time to work with.
Sure.
They didn't need to finish right then, so why not bait up the ultimates, then go on the next attack, which they ended up winning.
Well, we'll see if, we'll see what Graviton surges to pick that up. At the end of the day, like, we can't argue that that map kind of came down to where you're holding in the shuttle versus where you're not holding in the shuttle. It was almost a snowball in the first half of the map. It then ended up being, well, actually, it was a snowball for Rogue when they went to attack, so that was really quick.
Yeah, it was really quick, like on second part especially, because they didn't manage to group up as 6 and take a good fight as 6. And yeah, they get snowballed because they didn't group up correctly, in my opinion. They didn't engage and retake second position. They were destroyed on top, and that's all the parts of the snowball there.
Yeah, that was the big difference between the two teams, potentially costing them several minutes. An excellent personal play there coming out from TakeOver, and already moving towards the end of the payload. That was the Graviton surge. So many of us were taking a look at, and wow, that I believe like in the first half, and that. I mean, from first-person view, that just looks delicious from Zarya. That's like the dream right there. So many good individual plays, but ultimately it came down to who could stall who on the hangar phase. And what have Graviton Dorado picked? They picked Dorado.
So let's talk about Dorado a little bit, Nox, because it's definitely a unique map. We've seen a lot of teams struggle on the first point and the second point come into this. If you're going to look at these two teams, what are you looking to see out of them if they want to succeed? What does Graviton Surge need to do to win the round, and what does Rogue need to do?
I think this is one of the best Rogue map, actually. And they're really strong to taking first and second points. Actually, in attack, they're really strong. It's going to be super hard for Graviton Surge to all this, I'm pretty sure. Like, they have some specific tactic with 2 snipers sometimes.
Right. Okay.
With like 2 flanker behind and 2 sniper, 1 in front, 1 on the back. Like,
can you explain the flanker sniper, just for people at home that don't understand exactly how it kind of works? You would assume being a sniper by yourself in the back can be very dangerous for yourself too.
Like, technically, if they're not prepared to have, if they don't have someone else on a team who can deal with the high ground, the sniper will come behind and take the high ground. So technically, you can't shoot him, and he can't shoot all of your team. So that's the main problem. That if you have only like one sniper on your team, he can't deal against you. And if you have 2 Mercury, for example, in defense, they're really in trouble. Like, they can pick the high ground really easily. So if you have a Winston in defense, could be better. Like, you can counter your back. And we see C9 playing with Winston sometimes in defense, or LG playing Winston and Genji to get that mobility for countering the flank.
And we can see soon here planting the Venom Mine on top of this wall. This is mainly so that it gets triggered, so that if, for example, Genji comes over the wall, Widowmaker instantly sees what's going on. We even have a sentry there, of course, from Nevik, who's playing Symmetra. So just really keeping the sniper safe. And like you guys were saying before, when you're in the back lines dealing damage, the last thing you want is someone coming up and flanking on you, right? So you want as much notice as possible. So have we... Oh, we're up to 5 out of 6 sentries at the moment. So Nevik's there trying to get the teleporter for the first point as quickly as possible. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to seeing what Crew does on Junkrat. Junkrat, always fun to watch and can do a potentially huge amount of damage, especially coming through this archway here. It's just such a difficult choke point to have to deal with.
This is one of the best maps for the Junkrat. You can spam and be safe on the left area. Like, every team is doing it, actually. Standing on the bottom left, and you're completely safe. If someone rushing you, it's just a really close area, so you can kill him really easily. You're totally safe there.
Double Widowmaker, you used once again to Vic, also on Hanzo. So a lot of long-ranged here, a lot of sniping coming out here, out of the gate from Rogue to try and go 2-0 up in this series. Jason, what do you reckon with so many snipers on the ball? Are you happy to see Tavik on Hanzo here?
I still kind of question it sometimes. I feel like they don't have a front line. Like, if you had two Winston's, I could kind of see it working really well because they're not going to be focused in the back because the time team's dealing with the Winstons that are attacking them. But then again, it's Tavik. And he can play anything he wants. He could probably play an offensive Mercy and still do better than half the players out there.
That's quite true, man. Although he's actually the only player dead, unfortunately, at the moment. So he has to dash back as quickly as possible. Unko on AKM, constantly keeping Graviton Surge back just with as consistent sniping. They're basically stood quite far apart so that people have to watch for snipers from two different directions, and that's taking its toll on Zebetai's attention. He's not sure which way to turn and gets hit in the back there for that kill.
It's also nice because you have Tavik actually give them vision of where the enemy Widowmaker is, so they can actually pick them before they get picked. He's kind of playing it, I would assume, as a support-esque kind of Hanzo for his team, and of course, I mean, it's still Hanzo. You can still do ridiculous damage with them.
Yeah, but you see, they're really in trouble because they don't have any damage to damage the shield. Like, Crew is winning the Reinhardt shield battle, I mean, and technically they have really good position eye to the sniper, so I don't see, like, they need to switch.
Oh, that was sick! Sorry, chuck the bomb up and instant kill on Nunko. No, but you're absolutely right about the Reinhardt shield. Crew's doing so much damage the other direction. Where's the DPS coming back, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's take a look at Reinforce and what that shield looks like. 1660 at the moment, so not doing too bad. Hang on a second. We have a little bit of a... Oh dear, doesn't quite get there. If he had another half a second, that would have been big.
This is a good switch from Tavik. We can see he's playing Zarya to counter Junkrat.
Yeah.
This is really a good pick to take.
Yeah, so Zarya actually soaks up a lot of damage that Junkrat can do, get free charge on his ultimate. But Tavik doesn't really show much to it there as he does get taken down. The ultimate coming out, I think that was reinforced with the Earth Shatter, but it doesn't hit anything because I think it's blocked out by the shield. The revive being used defensively and the Earth Shatter coming through, and this should ideally be a team fight coming through. There's so many people on Graviton Surge that have already lost their lives.
Yeah, that was a massive melee there. Crew still doing his best to deal some damage from Junkrat, but there aren't that many directions right now for Rogue to look. They're able to focus his attention on him there, and although he does manage to get reinforced, the payload is slowly making its way towards the door on the other side, and Graviton Surge are slowly being forced back.
So much work for Crew there. You see, he completely denied the Reinhardt on the left, and then denied the buff players on the payload with just one bomb. Was crazy. Amazing job for Crew there.
Yeah. Graviton Surge back already as well. Oh wow, instantly getting used next to this. We're going to kill an awful lot of people. Crew and Nevix both going down now to Tavik Zarya, and this is a joy to watch. We have another Crew ultimate popping in here. Are we going to see him sneak behind Reinhardt? We are, and Reinforce gets sent back to the drawing board.
It's one of the most frustrating feelings, I think, if you're playing a Reinhardt, because you see the Riptide coming at you, but you're like, yeah, there's nothing I can do. Here, the Fire Strike, I still can't kill it. Actually, no, you can because it's 100 HP, but still, it's really hard to hit that, and you kind of just have to man up and let yourself die. But Crew, I mean, Nox even point this out, he's just doing ridiculous work here, really shutting down this choke point and not allowing Rogue to have control.
Tavik is at least making a big difference, though, because like you guys said, there's so much DPS coming out here that it starts to make a lot of those questions about doing the damage. You know, it's a little bit suspect when you're just doing it into a Zarya shield and you're helping the opposing team get their shields up, right? So it can be a bit tricky. Oop. Doing a little bit of a jump there, not quite managing to pull that off. So he's sneaking behind. Zebasai in the meantime with Deadeye available, just defending from the high ground. Sees them coming though, absolutely nothing in terms of surprise. He's looking for Reinforce to drop the shield. Doesn't quite manage to do it and gets picked off by IDDQD.
Even their shatter misses, so a little bit unfortunate for Rogue. Kratos will have ultimate available, and IDDQs get some free charge. They do revive back up. We'll get flash pinged up from below though. He will be falling. Now the Riptide's going to come through, clean up Tavik.
That was big.
And Graviton Surge hold yet again. However, there's the revive out of Unko. And we're going to see a fight off the back of this.
All right. Oh, wow. And the revive off the back of this is going to be instantly into it. Everyone lie down here, so we're going to have to back off. Tavik is all the way back at home, so wins right now, just patiently waiting behind. Unfortunately, the revive not quite paying dividends there. I mean, was that worth actually trying, considering the Earth Shadow was available, or was that just, like, really good timing from Skipjack?
I think this is really good timing from Skipjack. Like, he gets revive and waiting the shield going down, then the T4, then very well played from him.
Well, this might be one of the first times we've seen Rogue ever hold or held out a point, not finishing an actual map. Skipjack going to be leading the charge, trying to provide some cover for the rest of his team. We're going to go to overtime. Another question comes down to how long will we be in? Skipjack's actually getting a lot of ultimate percent built up as he's swinging away, but the Graviton Surge comes through. He's being forced to keep his shield up just to keep some teammates alive, and we still don't know which way it's going to go because Kratos now popping his own ultimate, getting his entire team back up and running soon, isn't even being pressured too much, and Tavik is getting free reign.
Unko instantly using the revive as soon as it became available to him. Tavik right now, after the Graviton Surge, is picking up an awful lot. Reinforce got 2 kills off that attack, and even though it's in overtime and it's not going to be the fastest time in the world, Tavik is really leading the charge here and allowing the team to go ahead and cap that. So, the door will not be held. Fantastic stuff. Graviton Surge are going to be pleased anyway. They bought a lot of time here in the overtime, right? But
I don't think it's over just yet, actually, because we see
Oh, wow.
an Earth Shatter
Not over.
come in,
This is
knocks
not over.
Tavik
Look
down.
at that.
Unko's not available anymore.
Unko is
Kratos
dead.
is already
Alright.
about to have his ultimate up as well to actually revive.
Wow,
and
that
I
was
think
too
they
soon.
actually
Big
have
play from
health.
Crew.
we've got 2 Tracers here now trying to rush in.
Wow.
And
That's it. That's pretty much going to be it. They keep dying one by one. They're just filtering in with Tracer after Tracer after Tracer.
Oh my.
With High Dunes being used to held them off. And Graviton Surge, they have held Rogue back from finishing him out, from even getting the first checkpoint alone on Dorado.
that was a really, really good last second hold. When Rogue started pushing on through at the end there, it would be very easy to go, well, hang on a second, this is looking pretty rough. Unko maybe using the revive and then just pushing everyone through. How did Graviton Surge pull that back, Nox?
I think they should switch directly their strategy with 2 sniper. Wasn't working with that lineup, so they lost a bit too much time on this. Also, Tavik get 2 good ulti, but no one managed to kill Kratos. Like, he gets some really good revive. He stayed alive during all the game, and I think he died maybe 1 time at the end, but during all the game he stayed alive, reviving everyone and staying alive during the next fight. Like, there are no pressure on the Mercy at the same time as you have the Graviton. Sure, sometimes this is a mistake of the team, so you didn't win the trade. Like, it's 1 ulti for 1 ulti. Like,
Yep.
nothing happened.
Well, 6 minutes and 2 seconds and not even getting to the end of the marketplace there. That's going to be slightly worrying. And Rogue right now, they're going to have to basically do some incredible defensive holding if they're going to survive here. What strategy can they because obviously just winning the map faster isn't going to do it for them. They have to stop Graviton Surge in their tracks. What's the best strategy to completely hold them off before the payload even gets there?
Technically, if you
Because you have
want,
to all in, right?
if you want to do that, like, you should save your 6 ultimate almost. 5 ultimates and try to all in on a 1 fight. Should be the best chance for them to do that, like, not be too faster on this. Or maybe the first push will be okay if they have a pick and second pick. That depends.
So what do Rogue have to do to prevent Graviton Surge from doing that? Because Rogue can't stop Graviton Surge holding ultimates, right? They have to be clever with their composition. They have to be clever with their positioning to try and make the ultimates from Graviton Surge matter less. They want them to make sure that they can never break through. Because if they break through once, it's game over.
This is a lot of pressure on this situation. Like, you try your best. I think there's nothing to do except, like, try your best on any fight. And this is just, like, you try to use ultimate in good timing, and I think they're using the same lineup also, almost same lineup. So yeah, they're gonna trade this and try and see who's the best.
I just always love seeing Tavik on Junkrat. Like,
Yeah.
it's just such a joy to watch, you know? Doesn't matter how many kills, well, it does matter how many kills he gets, but it doesn't matter who he kills, it's going to be entertaining. Sat there with the finger on the trigger button, and we have 2 Winstons, 2 Mercies, a Genji as well coming out from Graviton Surge. They're looking to rush out very quickly, aren't they? They're going to be, they're just going to get in people's faces right now. They're not playing around.
If they're gonna surprise on the flank, 100% sure, with a sniper or maybe Genji on Winston behind. Maybe two sniper in front with Genji and a Winston on the back. So they're gonna surprise them, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the guys are basically waiting. Oh, hang on a second, as the Venom Mine is triggered there, so they know that they're popping in back with a Genji. Is Crew going to be able to get in? No, it looks like Widow is on that. What about Reinforce? Okay, so we're not seeing too much action on the payload itself. There's really not going to be that much in the way of leeway between the two, and we can see Crew here sneaking around back. He's looking to get some serious damage done. Only picks up the... I don't think the rest of the teams know that they're here yet. Oh, and he might be... Okay, there we go. But that's Widowmaker. You have to be careful getting up close and personal with Genji like this.
They've eliminated actually a lot of control, though. They made it so the Widowmaker can't be safe to actually play from the backside, which, with Crew just being a nuisance in the back alone, he's already pulling 1, maybe 2 people back to deal with him, which makes the frontline defense even lighter. And our Graviton Surge are actually getting prepared to finally push this payload through. And IDDQ, he's in a really rough situation. The flashbang, it might hit, yes, but the shields are up to prevent any damage from him to go through.
IDDQD trying to stem the flow here. The payload actually being pushed very slowly, very calmly. Graviton Surge, of course, know that they just need to focus and get this done one time, and as a result, they're not going to be able to do it on this occasion. Skipjack getting close to getting Primal Rage, but he's going to have to head back, heal up at base, no doubt, and wait for his turn. In the meantime, 3 ultimates already available on the part of Rogue. No revive just yet because we don't actually have a Mercy in this game right now. Unko putting down the teleporter in the meantime there.
This is one thing I didn't notice, like they didn't use any Mercy, like only Wins playing Lucio. In my opinion, this is a misplay. We can lose the fight because of that revive. It's gonna be the key there, the revive.
What, because of a lack of revive, and that's going to allow Graviton Surge to push?
Yeah, exactly. They lost 2 guys already, you see 3 revive, so technically we win that fight.
Ouch. Okay, well, neither side has a Mercy now. Let's see, Kratos getting absolutely impaled by Reinforce. He moves in, forcing out the Primal Surge there. Are we going to be able to get him as well? We are. It looks like all quiet on the Western Front as both sides settle down, and we have another reset here from Graviton Surge. Still no Mercy, though.
Reinforce saved the day there. He killed 4 guys, I think.
Yeah.
But he saved the day.
But he can't keep doing that all the time. You're saying next time, if that happens and Reinforce doesn't go ahead and MVP it up, that we might actually be seeing them lose to the lack of Mercy on. I don't know. I mean, Kratos at the moment, currently on 30%, so still waiting. We're still keeping on the same lineup for Graviton Surge. There's the double engage, and there is Lucio ult as well, coming in on the side of defense, trying to split the guys up with those Winstons. Nevix at the moment getting absolutely all over the team here, and he's going after basically the supports. Wins goes down as well, and without 2 support players, it's going to be so difficult here for Rogue to hold.
And these monkeys are actually just being, they're just being such a nuisance in the back. You saw IDQD trying to have some sort of opportunity to even kill anyone, but he was just forced back immediately. The Earthshatter to come in yet again out of Reinforce, and knock quite a few people down soon. Trying to look for this kill on the enemy Widow, and unfortunately not going to work out too well for him here. So Rogue, looks like they will hold on, will maintain yet again. Kratos still has Revive available, but he's just not in a good position to use it together.
And the more the team is split up as well, the more Tavik can kind of just indiscriminately spray damage, knowing that there aren't 2 or 3 different heroes focusing on it at any one time. So I feel like the more concentrated together Graviton Surge are, actually the better, even though there is a Junkrat here, because you're able to make use of those shields. You're able to make a concerted push where you can pick off 2 or 3 people, and Mercy isn't there to do a revive. They haven't really been taking advantage of it so far.
Yeah, I think this is a mistake. They can't deal with the Reinhardt. You see Reinforce saved the day the second time, he killed 3 guys, and they can't deal with tank, and this is not the best comp actually.
Yeah, it's not. This isn't actually the best revive either, because instantly 1 or 2 people going down there, and even though it's 4 on 6, Kratos is nowhere near the start of the fight. They're just lucky that there aren't actually that many people with the payload itself. But right now, even just the 1 or 2, not having the full team there, might well be enough for it to basically seal the deal. Zebasai is basically stopping people from getting underneath the archway, and that's oh, what an excellent aerial shot there against AKM.
And Izek catches at the high noon as well. He prevents it from going off. The ultimate Riptire will come out and eventually pick up a couple of kills, but not Tavik just has to hope somehow. Basically, he alone can keep this payload off the actual checkpoint. It's still going to be progressing through. It's finally going to be contested yet again. And Graviton Surge have gotten the checkpoint, and they have tied the series up now at 1 apiece.
Wow, GG. Graviton Surge really showing us a fantastic example. And I think you said earlier, Jason, possibly the first time this tournament Rogue have been held.
I was really wondering towards the end what happens if they don't finish the point. I actually don't know the rule for that.
I think it's a draw.
Really a draw?
It might be a draw,
right.
because one side doesn't finish in 6 minutes and 2 seconds, one side doesn't finish in 6 minutes and 5 because there's a bit more overtime. Neither side has captured a point.
No, all the rule sets we've had have always been like a replay.
I don't know the rules there, but it's arrived 1 time, I think, against Reunited. We draw on just a draw.
I remember the days of early beta. King of the Watch Point Gibraltar, 9 draws. It was so painful. I ended up casting 1 map for like 2.5 hours. It was a joke. It was a hilarious joke, but unfortunately I was also observing, so it became less hilarious. So a couple of that sick play, man. That Junkrat Chuck able to get Unko there. Graviton Surge from Tavik. There were a lot of really cool individual plays actually in this game. Nothing much Reinforce can do about that. You said that yourself, Jason, in the cast. You're just depressed looking at stuff like that, aren't you? You go, well.
You can charge away from it, potentially, but it was a little bit too late. He just knew his fate was coming. Just had to
face his destiny like a man.
Yeah, pretty much. Next map, Route 66. We do have a 1-1 tie between the two, so we're seeing more and more of a chance of that King of the Hill map. I think it was Lijiang Tower.
Yep, Lijiang Tower.
hope we see
Is it
it.
Lijiang? It might. There's only the one King of the Hill map as well left in the map pool.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to a bit of King of the Hill. I'm hoping it doesn't end up being the last map and we do get to see it play. I mean, if it's the last map and it's 2-all, I'm okay with that too.
For me, I don't really like to watch King of the Hill, to be honest, actually. Yeah. I don't...
It becomes interesting to observe because you're like, ultimate,
Yeah.
ultimate.
It's more like you're watching the kill feed, not the action. Like the action is, I think, it's not like on payload. You see clearly the action and who's doing well or not well. And King of the Hill, because it is not class limit, and the mirror class, everything is going everywhere. We can see the action clearly, like who's doing well or who's doing bad. And that's the point I don't
And I
really
think
like.
on some King of the Hill maps is different to others as well, because especially the Garden on Lijiang, like people respawn and get there so quickly compared to, say, some of the control points on Nepal, where it takes a little bit longer to get to the contested point. You end up then getting delay tactics sometimes, where it's like, oh my goodness, this can actually get a bit crazy. And Lijiang, I think, is the shortest of the three.
It was Mendo, I think you said 15-minute overtime they had once. Actual 15, like not as in normal time, then overtime. It was normal time, then 15 minutes of overtime.
Wait, 5-0?
15.
15 minutes.
I mean, either one is still a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
So Route 66 Knox. Walk us through the map. Walk us through these teams on this map. What do you expect to see?
Rogue have an interesting lineup there for the first point in attack. I mean, they start in defense, but in attack they have something really exotic, I would say. It's 2 soldier, 2 tracer, and 1 symmetra, I think.
Like this is for Rogue.
Yeah,
Okay.
Rogue tactic in attack.
On attack.
An attack. So I don't know if they're attacking or defending.
Rogue
side.
are going to be...
Defending.
Win says attack first.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Yeah,
every
swap
team
each
wanna
other,
attack
yeah.
in first. So technically they use the same lineup. They have no healer. And
You're really not liking this no healer thing, man.
no,
No,
it's like
that's not what it
it's
is.
Jason.
Like to
Jason
distract him.
touching my hair, maybe.
Your
He
face,
like
you're
my hair,
blushing,
I don't
man.
know.
You're blushing. What's
Maybe
wrong?
like my brushing. I don't know.
Got a soft spot for Mercy.
Yeah, so let's see what lineup they're using, Rogue. 2 Tracer, 2 Soldier, 1 Symmetra. They have no healer. They just play on the sustain of the class. Like heal for the Soldier and the press E for the Tracer.
Well, double soldier currently being picked.
Well, explain why the double soldier, double tracer, Symmetra combo is so strong. Because you talked about it, but you didn't really mention why we would see it on attack.
Okay, why this is strong? So
Yeah.
first, with the Symmetra, you boost a bit the health of everyone. Second part, like you don't aim on the healing, like sustain heal with a healer. You just have 4 class with a lot of mobility, and they can heal themselves all the time. I mean, sometimes you have like if the team is split, it's super hard for one healer to heal everyone except the Lucio. But still, sometimes you're too far, so you can't heal them. So technically, that strategy, it's you spread, you have everyone everywhere, and they can heal themselves. So this is pretty strong.
What kind of fights are they looking for then, if that's the composition? With no tank, obviously, it's a little hard to go for a straight 6-on-6 fight, right?
So I don't know if they're gonna use that, but technically it's just a Lucio knockout with the Symmetra and rest all split on the map, attacking from a
So
lot
looking
of
for like
different
these small
side.
skirmishes? Like these
Yeah.
like 2-on-2s or something like
Yeah,
that? Okay.
exactly.
Well, there's a lot of hit scan coming out here at the moment to start things off from Graviton Surge. No traces on the map. We're going double soldier and Zebasai on sniper as well. We'll see if that ends up paying any dividends. A lot of long range hit scan indeed. I want to check out. Where's Crew? There's Crew. Oh, he's quite far back. Okay, we're checking out soon. I like that they're going together. I thought we might see one Soldier 76 attempt to sneak out the side, but it looks like the entire team is going to be going out the left-hand side here, trying to pick stuff off the behind the big girl sign. I think Zebasai is on the other end as well. He is, and he's going to get annoyed by Tracer. AKM, though, will pay the price for trying to pick him off.
The 2 soldiers, though, it's such a great actual attack, situation for them because it's a shield that they're attacking. Double soldier being mercy boosted, there's just no way you're not going to break that shield extremely quickly, which makes them very susceptible, very vulnerable on the top side.
It's there's a lot more sort of synergy to it as well because soldier, when you're putting down the healing beacon, you're obviously not shooting during that time. So if you have 2 soldiers healing each other, it's actually more beneficial than some of its parts, So it's just really, really nice. And neither of them have died yet, and they've already got tactical visor and Crew. They're going to have two of them in just a second. Unko has got a revive available, but they absolutely have to push back here. And Graviton Surge in this first point. I mean, how on earth do you get back into a position to contest? There are so many choke points on Route 66. Tactical Visor is just excellent here.
I think the strategy of Graviton Surge is super good actually. It's working pretty well with the soldier. They don't need a Macri, they just take class hit scan with long range because this is a huge map with high ground. So this is a really good choice that they're taking, actually, sniper and two soldier.
Well, if you were to counter it, Nox, if you were to look at that attack and know ahead of time they're going to be going for that, what would you run against it then?
Technically, you need two monkey there because Winston is a class really versatile, can counter snipe. Winston can counter any hit scan, maybe not the Macri, because Macri can put damage really quick. But yeah, two Winston there, direct and sniper, or Genji maybe. Genji is okay against soldier.
We know how much Graviton Surge actually like Genji too, but maybe we'll see a little bit more of it later. Actually, sorry, Rogue, you're talking about on the actual defense. Crew, in the meantime, put on the high ground. Still just attacking away, hammering away. He gets healing from himself, gets healing from the Mercy off to the back. Eventually will fall. So a little bit of a, I guess, misplay out of him being in the wrong place at the wrong time. But I think Rogue have held on to this initial point a little bit longer.
A lot of ultimates were used in that fight as well. Kratos back down to 20%. Soon used his ultimate, his tactical visor. It didn't work for him. He's actually switched on to McCree now. So worth checking that out as well. But hang on a second, we actually have AKM going in for a bit of the action. That's not necessarily going to work. He's moving back. Skipjack was miles out in the middle of nowhere, and Kratos gets down now as well. There is Crew. Crew's gotten like so many kills this game already, and he's done a fantastic job of almost single-handedly pushing Rogue back at times. But I just question whether using all of those ultimates on Graviton Surge in that last fight is going to benefit them at all, because right now it doesn't look like that they gained a lot of ground from it.
Yeah, they're getting snowball, they have ultimate, and they're switching with two Macri soldier. Let's see if it's gonna work, but it's 5 ultimates against 1. It's gonna be super hard for Graviton Surge.
Wins with the, oh dear, the beat does get dropped there. Everyone gets charged, but unfortunately way more hit points on the half of Rogue. Still 4 available. Kratos having to use his revive very, very early on in this engagement as well. IDDQD able to pick off Nevix, but that's basically it with that Deadeye off screen. And right now it's just a massive brawl, but I think Rogue with the additional ultimate advantage is going to be useful. AKM still able to soak up so much damage before he actually uses Primal Rage. And he hasn't even used it yet.
No, big job by AKM. Really big job there. I think he catch 5 guys there on this fight, damaging 5 guys. Didn't get shot down by the Macri. I think it was a misplay of Soon or Zebozai to not right-click him. I mean,
a little bit more in the way of sustain now. Crew going back onto Zarya. We've seen some fantastic plays from Crew. So I'm looking forward to seeing if this changes their fortunes and if they can actually push through this second point.
That's what's funny about the team Graviton Surge. He made it because he wanted to play DPS, and then he still ends up on basically the same role he played for Melty anyways. We're going to see some high noons going to be going off. There's some Dead Eyes. Crew looking for some sort of damage here. He's at 82%, so the Graviton Surge could be up relatively soon. And he's even looking for some damage here onto this McCree, but Tavik behind him should be able to shut him down. Crew will fall. Revive will come in, this time out of Unco. We'll get the entire team minus IDDQD available, and then even Kratos get the ultimate off before he gets charged into the wall.
Oh dear, a lot of charging going on all over the place right now, but it's currently 5v4 in favor of Graviton Surge. Huge melee coming down. Skipjack just about managed to get his shield up in time on very, very low health indeed. Crew with Graviton Surge available, looking to potentially take something out. Wins manages to get himself picked off, and it looks like we are stabilizing with Graviton Surge on the point. Once again, 2 minutes left to go to deliver the payload to its next destination, but they have been stalled a very, very long time from Rogue now. Finally, they have some ultimates back up, right?
Yeah, technically they can win that next fight with Crew ultimate and Zebo ultimate. Also have a Skipjack with the revive, if they get revived to the Graviton Surge.
Lucio soon actually will be able to have another sound barrier. Oh, hang on a second. Graviton Surge, we have High Noon from Zebasai coming out off the back of that as well. AKM picks him off though, and Zebasai isn't actually able to get any kills. Wins at the moment in a little bit of trouble. He's getting targeted down by the looks of things, but he managed to stay alive. Crew still in the thick of the action and managing to spot someone at the back as well. But once again, Graviton Surge are having to retreat in the face of Rogue. What do they have to do to get this checkpoint?
Was a misplay. They didn't destroy the shield of Reinforce, and Reinforce have full shield health, and he blocked all the ulti of Soon there.
I mean,
Zebozai ulti maybe.
They still got some ults available, right? They have Earth Shatter, but they can't really use it up top at the moment. And oh dear, that is not good. Oh, skipped. Oh, wow. Getting revived just as Lucio brings his ult by. That's going to be kind of useful for Skipjack. Zebasai having to run away, unfortunately, getting a lot of damage done to him right now. And Kratos is actually being targeted down and needs to be careful to stay out of sight. Crew, in the meantime, doing a decent amount of damage. But again, people aren't fighting together. It looks like this is a series of one-on-one engagement. This isn't what Graviton Surge want at this point in the map. Look, where's the backup? He's doing damage. He's got a kill. Is he going to get 2 kills as well? Not quite. But imagine if his teammates were there, right? That would have been huge.
Doesn't seem like he needed it, though, because they still somehow won the fight. I mean, I agree. If he had his teammates there to focus people down, they could have cleaned up a couple more kills, but...
It looks fragmented.
Yeah, but I think the fragmenting works. I think Rogue are trying to play together as a team a little bit too much. They're focusing targets down really well. That's what Rogue's been able to do in that last phase. That kind of spreading out and fighting in like these little skirmishes is actually catching Rogue off guard, allowing them to get some control.
Wow, that's a... Oh my god, 3 high noons. I can't keep track of everything, guys. All right, there we go. 1 lot. It looks like there are still 2 available from Tavik and Heidi DQD. So just having the music, by the looks of things, the audio cue play a couple of times. Patiently waiting, not actually allowing them to get around the dog leg as well. And that's Skipjack with a big charge in. And he is very, very offside. He's going to go down very quickly indeed. Reinforced. The shield is getting low. He needs to decide what he wants to do with this. He's going to have to head back and charge it up, I think. There's no way he's going to be able to pop out. And Crew, in the meantime, he's doing some damage, but he needs to wait for Skipjack and Zebasai to get back in the action. No Reinhardt shield at the moment for Graviton Surge.
I think Nox, I mean, you might be able to kind of give us a bit more insight into it. I think they're trying to farm maybe some ultimates here for this last final push, because at this rate, it doesn't seem like they're going to have what it takes to finally get this payload towards the end.
Like, I think they're saving their ultimate for the last fight, and Crew got it really soon. So technically, they could take that last fight. And they got a go.
Yeah,
big there.
Early on is big here. Oh wow, and A will actually come in and interrupt the Earth Shatter there. That was pretty big on Reinforce, and he's actually going down right now. So they potentially have a big fight on their hands here, Graviton Surge. They might be able to push it through. Still Graviton Surge, like you said, for that last fight. Skipjack as well with his ultimate available, and there is the ultimate. Is that from Kratos? It is from Kratos. He switched off of Mercy. We're not going to see a second sound barrier, though. Nevix doesn't have his ready. And Crew, well, is he dead right now? No, he's still with the payload. This is fantastic, and I think they're going to be able to complete this.
Wow, they've been able to actually finish that after almost getting knocked out completely.
I thought they were going to wait for more ultimates, actually, because it was basically Graviton Surge in hand and Kratos with the sound barrier. They weren't like, I thought they were going to wait for 4 or 5, but they did very, very well there.
I don't know what happened, but Tinko was alone on the left and Crew get it really easily. He was alone on the left and he couldn't dash on anyone. No one was there.
It was a big snowball.
Split of the team there.
I think they kept picking off people like one by one, and then 2 at a time. Then it's like, all right, we might as well just keep pushing because they keep trickling in. Trickling in. We just keep picking up these kills and eventually finish. It's not a pretty time, 8:35, but it sure is hell better than being stopped at the first point.
Yeah, that was. I mean, in overtime on the first point, that was potentially really, really tricky. So managing to get to the end of that was great. And I think, actually, they were able to make up some of that time with that final push as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was probably one of the cleanest final pushes we've seen. They didn't actually get stopped. Like, they were just slowly pushing through the whole time. Like, I can't think of a single other team that's done that so far in this tournament.
This is kind of strange. Technically, the last part of the map is the most easy for the defense. The rest of the map is really hard for the defense, especially the first one. Second one is okay, I think it's balanced, but the last one is super hard to push on this one. I don't know, the success.
Yeah, I mean, normally we get, let's try and think of what normally happens on the last point. It's quite narrow, so a lot of that hit point DPS scan, Soldier 76s in the back do a fantastic job. You occasionally see Junkrats pop out as well, just because you either go through this narrow strip and there are 2 corridors to flank. But you're not doing anything while you're moving about flanking the corridor. That's why you don't see tracers zipping through them, for example, unless someone wants to delay for some reason. So the constant DPS down the center usually is able to push the offending team back, like, what, 2 or 3 times? And we just didn't see that at all in that last game, did we?
No, we didn't see that. It was kind of strange. I think it was a misplay of Rogue. They didn't group up. They didn't have good position on the top, taking aggro on the last part of the defense. And they had 2 Anun, I think. The 2 Macri have had 2 Anun, and they were disconnected. They didn't use it correctly.
So now 8 minutes and 35 seconds to beat. What do you reckon, Jason? Are we going to see a complete here in a faster time?
I think if rotate the first point in the first attack, we will. I think they'll be. We saw them on the camera a little bit before, and it looked a little bit broken. I think Yeah, I don't think they've had many games that they struggled on since they've come together as a team. They haven't had really opponents that have been able to push them, towards the upper echelons of an actual best of 5 or something like that. We'll see. I mean, this is pretty much the make or break time for them as a team in general. They need to come together. They need to be able to push this one through, and they need to pick up this whole series. Like, they need to have, no offense to you, Nox, a rematch against Creation in the grand finals.
That would be an excellent story to tell.
You're more than happy for that, aren't you?
Well, we have a double Winston being pushed with the payload here, and Tavik coming out with Farah. That's going to be very interesting to see them maybe scatter the rest of Graviton Surge from out behind the big Earl sign. So I'm looking for when they actually move out. He's amped by Mercy, and here comes the Farah, and very, very wisely moving back here, deciding not to engage his Graviton Surge at this time, trying to get a couple of spot shots up. We'll see if Soon can actually sneak a couple of kills in. We're looking for it because there's no Widowmaker, don't forget, on the path of Rogue right now, but he's not quite able to get the kills this far early in the game.
Well played from Soon. Like, he bait the Winston to go on the bottom, and then the Macri was there to covering directly. Was a really good play, a good team play there.
I thought the fact that they saw the Pharah coming was really weird. I mean, does Rogue play Pharah typically on this map in the first point?
This is the first time I've seen it.
Yeah, I think this is the first time.
Because they
at least
zipped
in this
away
tournament.
really fast. They instantly saw it and they're like, all right, let's get the hell out of here. That was pretty odd, but it worked out so well for them too, because they didn't get scattered, as you're saying, Jorstar, into the enemy team. They didn't get thrown off this big sign. They got to play and have the fight that they wanted, and as you see here, they've been able to hold the point.
So look, it's high stakes. They want to make sure that they can hold them in that time. So if you see a weird comp coming around the corner, the first thing you do is go, give them some space. Let's work out what we're doing next.
Big from Crew. He killed directly on that fight, so technically this is a win for
poor Unko.
For
Unko's been the first player on the team to go down in 2 different team fights now. That's got to suck. He's not going to be feeling good about that, and he's got the res available as well. Ooh. IDDQD switching on to Genji. I say switching on to Genji. He's at 82% ult charge, so he's died once already, but I'll be looking forward to see if he can make any difference here. And Tavik actually has been quite effective on the bar. He's pushed Graviton Surge back with the first push, but now we need to see the follow-up for him. There's a lot of hit scan coming up from Graviton Surge, so they not to be looking skywards, and then Tavik will be able to rain down as much damage as he fancies.
Oh, he gets actually dropped. He has barrage available, but he's going to go down. Unko's going to fall as well to Soon, who's been able to play really well from this high ground. And IDDQD's not really being let to do much damage. As you can see, Zebasai coming from the side to pick up 2 kills with that right click, cruising to secure 1. And Graviton Surge, they're going to hold yet again here. Rogue are struggling. I don't know what's going on. Like, they were the team, and no offense, Nox, in my mind, to actually sweep the entire tournament, but they're seeming to have problems against compositions that maybe they're not as used to. The Soldier is, I guess, a slight mix-up, a slight change to compensate.
It was a really good switch from Soon. The Soldier make the difference there. You see Tevik going on far, and the Soldier is the best counter actually. So the switch of Soon was really interesting. That he make the difference.
You want to be able to make the difference with the long-range hit scan, right? Because at the end of the day, you can't have your McCrees looking up to the sky for Farah when they're doing so much damage on the ground. So having the Soldier there as a backup plan is really, really good news for him. AKM at the moment raging his way to trying to pick off Mercy. Unfortunately, not able to see him in the air right now, and looking for Reinhardt. Sees Reinhardt. It's going to take forever to kill Skipjack, but he manages to do it in the end. Crew, basically the only person alive with an ultimate remaining, and he's not about to get involved here at all.
He bought a lot of time, though. I mean, it's about 5 minutes. It comes down to, I guess, this hold, and well, obviously the final hold. But Tavik's actually getting caught by the flashbang. Should ideally went out on that trade against Crew, so he will now be down while his entire team is being forced to run back to defend.
He wasn't expecting that at all. The flashbang took him completely by surprise and was still able to turn around and get the kill, so that was pretty nice from him. Skipjack now moving back out into the fray of things. Has Tavik actually gone ahead and moved out? He has indeed. And moving into the house makes it a little bit more difficult for Farah to get some good damage done.
Actually, it's going super bad for Graviton Surge. They're dying one by one, technically. They're getting completely under control.
Crew looking for... Crew's been hunting Farah, actually, and he's now managing to kill him the second time around. The payload is still moving. It's about halfway between the 2 control points at the moment. AKM gets his name on the board as well, dropping the bubble in midair, managing to pick off Soon as well. This is an excellent pass-through play coming out from him. Skipjack now needing to use his ultimate to try and get out of his situation, but he is unable to, and Reinforced will be picking up what is left over. And as a direct result of this, Rogue right now are able to keep pushing, and they really do need to, right?
Yeah, the 2 Winston are doing a lot of job there on this side. They're staying alive and zoning everyone.
And they've got just over 4 minutes left to do this, so AKM unfortunately getting picked off just as that control point is reached. So this is looking within sight. I think Rogue right now, they have to be saying to themselves, guys, we can do this. This is feeling pretty comfortable. But I think you said this a lot earlier, Jason. You're absolutely right. The last control point can be so make or break, and if you hold here, you can hold so hard that 4 minutes is comfortably possible.
I think Graviton Surge realized they like really fucked up on this outside area.
Yeah.
And didn't want to let that happen again, so they've actually grouped up a little bit more and decided to actually give up the final position of that checkpoint to actually have a stronger defense, because they realize they have to hold on for another 3.5 minutes if they want to be able to take a 2-1 lead in this best of 5.
AKM trying to get away after being revived there from Mercy. Soon on Reaper having to shade himself out to get out of there. And AKM managing to survive onto the outside. It looks like they're regrouping and deciding to come back in. They need to meet the payload. They need to keep pushing it. All 6 of them are on it, though. And this could end up being a bit of a snowball. They're going to try and spawn camp. AKM in the back, looking to pick anyone off coming out. Let's go ahead and take a look at Reinforce, just keeping them as far back as possible. And an excellent charge there to move them back into the spawn point, but he gets taken out by Skipjack.
It's a little bit
There's a
questionable.
bit of overextend there.
Yeah.
They shouldn't do that.
He just pretty much killed himself for nothing, and the rest of his team has to back off because they don't have that shield anymore. If he maybe caught the charge and then the Earth shot out the back and the rest of the team followed up for the kills, that could have been, you know, the end of the game, but maybe a little miscommunication. Maybe Graviton Surge actually just got, Rogue got a little bit too cocky there for Reinforce.
Very close to making something work, and just a slight oversight. Oh, spotting the Reinhardt shoot going down and instantly trying to get some damage on. Managing to pick up Zebasai straight away is AKM. Earthshatter comes down now. We've got a massive res as well, actually. I believe 2 heroes revived there, but 4 kills in a row right now for Graviton Surge. This is going to be very tricky. We also have, I'm looking at Reaper here. I'm wondering if Soon is thinking about moving in there and trying to finish the rest of it off. No, he's going to be saving it for when the rest of Rogue decide to pop back for round 3. Have they got time? 2 minutes left, man. This is getting dicey.
So Nox, we see Reaper here out of Soon. Why play Reaper like in this position? I mean, explain to the people who are tuned in. Obviously, don't know too much about the game.
To be honest, I don't understand really the Reaper. Like, it's not countering anything specifically. Like, it can be countered by the 2 Macri or the sniper, so I don't like that pick. You see, for example.
And that's why not Reaper. But
Yeah.
I think his job in this situation is to stay concealed and just say, look, you always have the ultimate available.
He switched when we see the 2 Winston and the past point, and he stay on his on this class. I think was his.
He has his
mistake there.
ultimate. I think he wants to use it
Yeah.
too before switching away. And well, if if he's going to have to even have the time to go for it, seems to eventually be able to come back into this one. Be forced to Wraith form away, actually trying to escape this one. The time is still ticking. We still have about a minute and 15 seconds to go, but Rogue just knocking on this front door of the Graviton Surge home base.
Oh, and we're switching on to the Tracers now as well, so it looks like we have some delaying tactics coming down, and unfortunately everyone but Nevix and Soon are now dead, and he's in the spawn point. This isn't going to be fast enough, and wow, Rogue are able to cap the point in under 8 minutes and 35 seconds. They will be able to take this map.
Still a little bit too close for them. I'm assuming this isn't the Rogue that we've seen in the past, and Reinforce can have the play of the game. This man, Mr. Strong Reinhardt, had so many impressive charges, I feel like, throughout the entirety of this entire tournament, especially earlier on in their game against you guys. He had some really, really good charges and Earth Shatters, especially on this map. But either way, he just seems to swing it away, do what a Reinhardt does. And Rogue will take that 2-1 lead.
Very, very nice coming out there from Reinforce. That's why they call him Reinforce, man. This guy is an absolute staple, real rock in the team, and his tank very, very rarely makes mistakes. And well, that was a very hard-fought victory. I think that Rogue won it in the end, but Graviton Surge gave them a lot to worry about on both halves of that map.
Yeah, they didn't do a really good defense at the end finale. Yeah, they give them so much space when they came top left, and no one was on payload for blocking. They're getting picked, then the Mercy getting picked after that. I think it's a misplay there totally at the end. Maybe they were scared, I don't know.
Do you think we're going to see King of the Hill map now as like the next map here where Graviton Surge can tie it up to
That
try to
could be
catch them
fun.
off guard?
Rogue are pretty good at King of the Hill, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but does Graviton Surge feel
Fact. right? They continued pushing through, but it wasn't exactly snowball. It was almost like a collapse of the defense rather than the offense absolutely overwhelming. What went wrong there for Graviton Surge?
I think the positioning still. Like they were on top right, they completely missed the position on the left. They let them coming from behind on the top left on the last action. So you need to face them directly at the close corner, not let them go on a payload.
Do you think the composition was right? Could they have could they have focused any more on those hit scans? We see a lot of Soldier 76s doing fantastic, for example.
I think the sniper was totally free there. They should switch soon to something like Winston to counter him, for example. Like the Reaper wasn't the key. He switched to Reaper when we see double Winston the second part, but directly they switched to double Macri on Reynard. So technically, he should back at spawn to switch his class directly.
Okay, yeah, and it's really close by as well. Yeah. All right, well, Jason, they're calling our bluff here. We're going to King's Row. What do you think about that?
I feel like Graviton Surge is going to get their ass kicked.
Fair enough.
Just to be very blunt about it, it's really dangerous to do. I think it comes down to Crew and his Zarya. I feel like we're going to be seeing quite a bit of that when they go on the attack. And I feel like they're going to need that if they want to successfully pull off attack. I mean, this is the map that we used to see Melty playing on that when Crew was on their roster. Absolutely demolished other teams with the help of Symmetra, and especially Zarya pulling everyone together. I think they still have a chance, obviously. I'm not going to call it, call this game over before seeing what happens. But
no.
With the way that Graviton Surge had such a strong lead in the prior map before, before Route 66, and then kind of just seemed to lose it. I think that maybe they're actually down on themselves a little bit.
I think they have a lot of chance there to win that map, Graviton Surge, because Rogue is not really confident in this map. They lost against Melty, they lost against us. I think we beat them with a 3-minute 30 time. So
I thought that was a sentry for a second. I like this. I'm liking this from Junkrat. I mistook that for a sentry and went past and went, hang on a second. So Crew on Junkrat is going to be fun. You've got Symmetra being played as well. Get a couple more shields. It's only Crew that's shielded at the moment, by the way. No one else has the shields from Symmetra.
That skin triggers me. That Junkrat skin. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're shielded because he's trying to focus on getting the turrets down. It just triggers me. I don't know. I don't like it.
It's pretty...
It pisses me off for some reason. But anyways, yeah,
it is pretty freaky.
I guess he doesn't shield up all of his targets because he wants to make sure to get those turrets down, and well, AKM's gonna fall to that early pick. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Rogue did actually struggle against you guys a lot, and even struggle before yesterday when they didn't really know how to react to a defensive sniper like Flippy, who played, well, extremely defensive.
Yeah, we will be in trouble taking that first point. I think we're all doing 4 minutes on the first point against them. Their tactic with the sniper and so I'm not sure about that.
That's rough. That was a scouter shot followed up by a shot out of AKM. That's just a little bit too deadly to deal with, and Tvik just giving a lot of sight, giving a lot of opportunity for AKM to be free and do some decent damage. Not to mention Tvik is very, very strong on his aim. Yeah, he's actually able to force them back.
He's doing a lot of unchecked damage here, and he's actually getting the damage amp from Mercy as well. So Tvik, I don't want to know how much damage he actually just did in about 25 seconds, but it was pretty disgusting.
Have we noticed that Wins is playing Junkrat?
He's gone back.
He was. And he actually just got like 3 kills with the Riptire there.
With the Riptire.
But yeah, so they went very offensive with that. Can you explain that, Nox? Why they had only Mercy, but they had 5 damage?
The problem is they let them push directly. Like, you see 2 sniper, a sniper on Zo, you don't let them push so easily. You have to engage them. They were too passive there. That's why they lost the first one.
And Crew now switching on to Genji, trying to see if he can find a way to get in behind Rogue and disrupt them long before anything else happens. Going past a friendly Venom Mine there. Oh, he is successfully behind the team. He lets Reinforce knows he's there. And I think the plan is really just to split the... Oh my, hang on a second. Skipjack soon both going down. I think Zebasai also got taken out. Instant revive coming out there from Graviton Surge. And whereabout Crew's unfortunately dead, so he's not able to go ahead and grab any more in the way of sneaky kills from the back. Soon now with the Infra Strike. Where is the High Noon? It's actually not there. IDQD on 97%. He's going to stop that.
Tvik, Unko. Oh wow, Tvik gets the shot on us soon. He's actually able to help save his Mercy on top of that, and we see a lot of people already dead here on the side of Graviton Surge. Kratos doesn't have ultimate up just yet, only at about 52%, and they actually might be able to get this next checkpoint. This could be a ridiculously fast time. Maybe not 3:30 Nox, but still fast time.
Reinforce is just... He's been solid.
Nothing is done there. They have a chance, they have a Crew ultimate there, so he can make a difference through there.
Ultimate used the ultimate just to kind of space him out a little bit, try to give him a little bit more control, and somehow he's actually able to kill Soon. I think that was just a regular shot. Earthshatter comes in, but Crew in the backside with the Dragon Strike is just going ham. The revive will come through just in time, and AKM's able to clean him up. And even in the meantime, Zebulon's getting revived from his teammates Soon. Back in spawn, trying to join the party, but Tvik is just not being molested. He's not being harassed. He's getting so much free reign over this battlefield.
Yeah, and that's really the biggest difference in terms of damage right now. Nice. Goodbye, Skipjack. Because you typically see like a Widowmaker in the back doing all the damage, or a Soldier 76 going completely unchecked, and you're like, wow, this is so much damage. This is Tvik in this game with his Hanzo. And on this last point, Hanzo is so strong because it's so narrow. The ultimate here is going to be able to absolutely wreck and keep everyone out of the game.
They don't have anything to pair it with, but I agree. It's such a tight area that it's going to be really hard to even work around this. Just pops on the left side, they're on the right. You can group up to actually attack on the right side. Depends on the situation you want to go with. And here we go. Who shoots it to the left? Has to watch out for the people on the high ground. Gets 2 kills already.
Trina Rock in a hard place, man.
That's 2 people, huge players for them gone.
And he gets taken out by Soon, but I'd argue, unfortunately, it's not soon enough. Gets 2 kills there, doing a very, very good job. And now Rogue continuing to try and defend. AKM forced to go into machine gun mode. Successfully does that. The payload is continuously getting pushed in. This is a very, very fast time they're potentially setting here. And that's it. Oh my goodness, 6v2 at the end. Well.
Yeah. Pretty good time for Rogue, I agree. Okay, I didn't expect that at all. But yeah,
is not sweating a bit here?
Well, not at all, man.
No.
Never.
Easy peasy.
Easy.
So the support player wins, who plays Lucio pretty much exclusively, gets play of the game. Junkrat.
Support Junkrat, man. It's a thing.
Yeah. Things like this, though, have to feel... He killed himself, which, you know, whatever. We'll let that slide.
That's why he's the Lucio player.
But
that's why he plays Lucio.
The thing is, like, Crew, who played Lucio only for Melty, he got so frustrated, you know, and eventually that's why he ended up leaving, because he wanted to play DPS. And wins his... He's in the same boat that he's only playing support, but when he gets to play DPS like that and pulls off plays like that, it's good to have someone in the pocket that can play support and still pull off something.
3 minutes, 55 seconds. Yeah. That's quick, man.
This is a really quick.
I've seen people held for longer on
Nox,
the first
Nox
point.
is like, yeah, that's quick. It's not creation esports quick, but it's quick.
It's okay.
It's definitely the second quickest time, right? Oh my god, that was fast though.
Well, so Nox,
really
you're on the attack now, right? And we've tried to talk about this a lot during the entire weekend. You know your time, 355. You can't really afford to play Zarya in this, can you? Unless you're counting on picking up 3 fights and then winning all those and snowballing. You have to go for a certain comp for this, don't you? Or do you have to go something a little bit different than your norm? Or are you trying to count on your solid good play that you're used to?
Technically, the first point is just you checking what they have, and you can switch. You can switch your heroes. That depends on the lineup. Like if you have free support, if you have a sniper or not a sniper, you need to switch really quick and take that fight at the beginning. Also playing, like we like to play with Winston and no Reinhardt for the first attack. That surprised him also.
Oh, look, it's 300 years in the future, or however many years, and the London Underground's still on strike. I'm not happy. They're on strike like every other day of the week. This is just unacceptable.
I've never actually been to London.
Really?
So I don't really know too much about that.
I've been there 11 years, and I've genuinely lost count with the number of times they've been on strike. It's kind of normal. Or it's like, sorry, closed for engineering work. We're not actually on strike, but you're not getting your train
Just
anyway.
be like Americans and use cars everywhere. That's what we do.
Dude, trains
drive everywhere.
Trains in America are even worse than in London, though.
Yeah,
trains are painful.
I've had experiences in America on trains. It's not too great. But let's talk about the game here, because this is either Graviton Surge going home or taking it into the 5th map. This is a big part of Graviton Surge potentially going up against Creation Esports in the finals.
Yeah, man, and here we go. Tvik is going to be playing Zarya, of course, on the defense here to try and get some sustain up on that final point. And we're going to be starting things off. Crew right now with Hanzo. Oh, he's getting picked off very quickly indeed. He's going to have to go ahead and move that. Soon is actually on an offensive Zarya as well. I mean, what do you think about the dual Zarya composition here? Is this really something that can allow them a 4-minute time?
I'm not sure. I'm not agree with that lineup at all. But especially against Sniper, I don't see how they're going to deal with the Sniper if I'm not going to catch.
I mean, I think Graviton Surge are of the opinion that they need sustain so that they never lose a fight, so that they never have to come back. So it's a little bit of an all-in play. Zarya is going to be able to provide them with fantastic shielding, really, really good amount of damage behind it, and you have that tank body in Zarya. But if they ever lose a fight, that's it.
They're doing a big job, actually. It's working pretty well.
They're pushing very far, to be fair.
Soon is doing a big job actually, and they get the points super fast, more faster than Rogue, I think.
And I think Soon's
They
trying
need
to
it.
push it up there too and try to build up that ultimate percent because they're going to need it in this alleyway to actually hold them off. Vic's only at about 36% when his opponent's already at 66, so pretty much doubling the ult percent, the ult times on this. And ACAM, what can he provide for the high ground? This will make him, less susceptible as well as his Mercy to a Graviton Surge.
Yeah. So,
But it's also really tricky to pull this off when you're against these McCrees and well now.
So on the
quite a
one
few
hand,
others.
you have the one team Graviton Surge, who are basically like, right, we need to get a really solid composition and we need to never get wiped. Here comes the Graviton Surge of their own, trying to pick off an awful lot of players. Tavik and Wins both going down very quickly indeed, but Skipjack and Soon getting kills as well. Reinforce and AKM still able to do an awful lot of damage, but they're going to have to move on back. And this is such a massive gamble from Graviton Surge. They're saying we're never going to lose a fight. And Rogue is saying, well, we have a lot of DPS. We have McCree, we have Farah, we have our own Tavik. We're gonna like DPS you down once and stop you from capping. I feel like that's what Rogue is saying here.
I didn't notice exactly what happened because the revive of Unco wasn't really effective there, I think, on that fight. He didn't revive everyone, and I think Tevik have a Graviton Surge, yeah. So technically Soon have advantage of ulti. They're taking that fight pretty well, and Soon, they're gonna block it now. They
90
can't do it,
seconds.
Rogue. They can't block that fight.
This is very tricky indeed. Zevasai with the high noon looking. Oh, he gets reinforced to start off with. That's really good. And there's AKM with the barrage, getting 4 kills there. That is absolutely huge. Graviton Surge get completely wiped. And you have to say to yourselves, with 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining, that was the one fight Rogue wanted, wasn't it?
It's over.
It's gone.
Technically, it's over.
It's gone.
Yeah.
They have put Graviton Surge into airplane mode. That's it.
The
Game
mistake,
over.
The mistake there was not let Kratos getting his ultimate, so he couldn't revive anyone on this fight. Could work if he can get revived.
Oh man, and that was such a massive switch off. There's nothing they can do right now. They're consistently contesting, but even if they win this fight, what kind of time are we looking left? They have 45 seconds right now. Soon is trying his best, but we have the sound barrier out from Rogue as well. So much more in the way of hit points going the way of Rogue right now. No one actually dying yet though, and Winston Savic going down. So I mean, they're putting up a fantastic fight. Reinforce getting taken out too. But is this going to be enough?
Well, with 25 seconds, pretty much no. You could
It's
just
over.
pick Divas, and there's just no way they can even finish this.
Yeah.
They're going to get the point. They're going to have to wait for the barrier to go down. And Rogue have secured themselves a spot now against you guys, Nox, in the grand finals, in a best of 7 against Creation Esports.
Yeah. So best of 7 for them and best of 5 for us.
I mean, look at this. Like,
Yeah, gotta look at it that way.
still an awful lot of trying. The guys are really pouring their hearts out. No one's calling the GGs. They want to fight till the very last second. There's the Earth Shatter coming out right now. There's AKM sealing the deal. 3 players go down. There are the GGs, and Rogue, ladies and gentlemen, book their position in the grand finals here at TakeOver. Waited till the last second. The last 20 seconds was pure passion. Refused to believe that they didn't have enough time. That was an incredible series, and well, they're going to be gathering their things, sort of relaxing, waking up. There's Reinforced there, marching across our field of vision. Handshakes all around, pretty sedate actually from both sides. No massive amounts of screaming. That's because Creation basically aren't involved. It's a lot quieter when you're not there, man.
What?
You said you
Not
guys
as
are
much
really
screaming.
loud when you play.
No. I don't know. They seems not happy to winning.
I don't think Rogue's necessarily happy with that win. I mean, I don't think they expected to be really pushed that far. I think they're expecting to kind of walk over Graviton Surge a little bit, but I think we've also seen some good things out of Graviton Surge. You know, they've really progressed as the tournament's gone on. They've challenged some of the top teams so far here in Europe, and I'm excited to see what they have in the future.
Yeah, this is a really young team, and they prove that they can be on the best, on the top. Like with some practice, better team play, they could be on the top.
And Unco there, well, dying a couple of times at the start of team fights, but really coming into his own towards the end and getting that play of the game as well. We'll probably be grabbing a highlights package from the game, no doubt, as the teams basically go ahead and say hi to each other. But we're looking forward to Creation Rogue Best of 7.
Let's hear a prediction.
Yeah, man.
My prediction?
Grand finals, what's the score?
Don't say 4-0. You saying 4-0?
There's no way they'll 4-0.
No way.
No.
No way. I think
sure?
Sure, 100% sure. I think CP map is really bad actually. Like it's
Wins.
It's not good.
It's how does it feel to finally not be support and play Junkrat for once? And finally doing some, and you get to play
Come
the
on
game
in,
the
man.
one time you don't play
Have
support.
a seat.
Oh god.
Enjoy.
Let me
Let me get rid of it. Let me get rid of the lap board.
Here, talk to it.
Let's talk play. Let's talk Junkrat play of the game. Best support Junkrat.
Well, as you
what
can
happened
see,
there?
I did manage to kill quite a few people, myself included.
Yeah, that counts though.
Oh
We'll
yeah,
count
the
it.
very end of that was beautiful.
Well, we was two inside the cafe or the small room next to me. I just used it right away.
Yeah.
To make sure they died.
And what drove that decision? I mean, you're always playing the support for the team. Why was it you that decided to switch off? Like, what was the strategy there? Obviously, you got the kills. What was the thinking behind it?
Well, usually with that strategy, we just play a slow poke composition. We just destroy Renard Shield and create some space for the sniper, pretty much, for a KM.
Yep. All right. Well, that was one of the more entertaining plays of the game that we've seen. No doubt that's going to get highlighted quite a few times. Excellent double kill at the end of that as well. We're also joined on the other side by Reinforce himself.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, this is probably the hardest team to play Reinhardt against because Skipjack is probably one of the best Reinhardts in the world. So every time you go up against Skipjack, you know you're going to have a bad time. But it worked out. Pretty good, anyway.
What would you say there's like one particular reason that you guys were necessarily better than them? Do you think that they weren't able to react as quickly, or do you think that you guys were communicating and synergizing better than a team, or did you have better individual plays? What was the key that made all the difference?
I just think it's like simple things like coordination and strats. They're a much newer team. They've been together for like a week or something. So they haven't been able to go through all the maps and like team play and what they want to do. They don't have as much of a plan as we do. And they rely more on individual skill. And like that's not the fault of them. They just haven't had the time, and I expect them to do great things in the future.
Yeah. I actually have a question for you, Wins, because we didn't get to talk to you guys after your loss in the winner bracket final against this man here. What kind of happened in that game for you guys? What happened against Creation the first time you met him? You obviously don't talk about too much because you don't want to give him any tips on the grands.
I actually don't know. Everyone was doing whatever he wanted on his side, and it was FFA. I don't know.
Reinforce?
Just choked. I don't know. That wasn't Rogue playing in the lower bracket finals.
I mean,
we're bringing something else for the grand finals.
Yeah, I was gonna say you
Okay.
guys tried really hard in that one, but in the end it really didn't matter. But now you have a second chance. You have a best of 7.
Yeah.
Your opponents now that you just beat, Graviton Surge, they took out Melty in the previous match. Were you sat here beforehand thinking that you were going to play Melty? What did you think of Graviton Surge's performance before they came and played you?
Well, I know most of them, so I knew they were really good players. Like Karim said, the only thing they lacked is some practice to actually be able to come up with some strategies and composition. But otherwise, yeah, I knew they would do fine just by being that good.
All right. Reinforce?
Yeah. Graviton Surge is a really hard team, and we drew them in the first round. And when I got to hear that, I got kind of upset because it was so typical. It's such a team that relies so much on individual skill, and like they have players that can set up so many plays that you're kind of scared going into them because you know that anything can happen and like they can upset and everything can go wrong. But it worked out, so yeah.
Okay, so we heard from Nox. We asked him the hard question before you guys got out here. What's going to be the scoreline for the grand final?